Hi and welcome to Eclipse login system tutorial. I'm going to show you guys how this works. Supposing we enter the wrong password there, and there we go. We end up with a message telling us we've entered invalid login details. Click on OK. If we enter invalid, we can always reset. You can exit or stay within the system and get the login details right there. Once you log in with the correct details, there you go. You can always get into this application that I already have tutorial on this on YouTube anyway, so if you guys want, you can always have a look at this. This is known as point of sales management system. There, that's how that works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys into Eclipse, then we put one of those passwords together. So let's do that now. And welcome back to Eclipse. So what I'm going to do is go into the file, new, Java project, and I'm going to call this one login system. Let's say underscore system, login underscore systems with an S. So copy that, and I'm going to now click on the finish button. I guess you guys can see the button. Click on the finish button. Now we come to the login system that have just been created, this very one here. Right click on it. Let's go to new, scroll right down, select other. Now within this dialog box, make sure you come to window builder, drop it down and select swing designer, this very one, and the component we want here is the application window. Make sure you click on that, click on next. Now let's give our project a name. We're going to call it, I'm going to call it login system. Okay, let me just call that login system. And the package name, I do need a package name as well. The package name is going to be login system. Okay, this is the name I'm going to be using, but this is the package name. Click on finish. Right in here we have this main system and the package name. Okay, now the main system, click on the design. That is the form. That's how the form looks like. I will now come straight into the source code of the form. You see right here, I'm going to change this to approximately 500, and maybe let's go for 200 here. I want it dead center. If I go back to the form, you can see the form has now increased a little bit. Alright, before we can continue with the development, I'm now going to add an absolute layer to this form. You can always select it here and just drop it on the form. Now the form has an absolute layer. Now the next thing is, let's go to list. I'm going to add a list box here for my title, another list box here. Okay, let's keep that. Let's add one more here, one here, another one, then TextField one, and JPassword field instead of TextField. That is advisable because you will end up with either dot and so on in there. So I'm going to give that a name. I'll call it txt password. There, that is sorted. Alright, then the label, you don't have to give them a name, but you must change the text content on it. paste that in there. If you want, you can always leave it the name. It's good practice if you want to. That is the name of the label. Then the username, let's call that username, and change the text content on it to username as well. Let's come back there. Right, then this one here, this text box, I'm going to change that to txt username. There we go. And just let's increase the size of it about that. And this very label up there, let's change that to login system. Right, we have login system. Then let's add 3 buttons. One button here that will be referred to as login. Once you type a name straight away, what will happen is the system automatically allocates the default name there. Look at that, btn login. So it's easier that way. Then the next one, that's going to be reset, and the same thing happens for the resets. Then let's grab another one. I'm going to call this one exit. There we go. And here let's add a separator. I'm going to add a separator here. You don't have to, but I just want to do it. Then there we go, one separator here, and that very separator I'm just going to copy it across and paste another one up here. Control C and Control V. There we go. We have a separator up and down. Okay, now before we continue with the design of the interface and so on, let's take care of the programming part of it. The easiest one is this. Double click on that, and right here let's say txt username dot set no value. Okay, so that will clear whatever content you have in there. Then txt password dot set, let's go for no value as well. There we go. Now let's take care of exit, this very one here. Let's collapse this, double click on the exit, and enter the following lines of codes for the exit button. Alright, let's take care of the login system itself. Double click on that, on the button, and right here we're going to enter as follows. We'll declare the following string variable. So I'm going to call that password equals, let's go for txt password dot get text. Enter a semicolon there. So we need another one for the username. Username equals txt username dot set text. Okay, let's see what the error might be. Okay, that's fine now. Now the next thing we want to do is, I'm going to use an if statement. If I say password dot, let's go for contains, what will I call it? I can just call it 1. That's for my password. Or let's say king, and let's say username dot contains equals 1. There, let's close that. Enter a curly braces there. Have another one. Yeah, Okay, in here what we want the system to do is get rid of whatever I have inside the password dot set it to no value. Okay, I'm going to repeat the same thing for the username. Let's username that. Okay, just clear the system. Else let's use J option plain dot show message. And what message? Okay, let's say no comma, and the message will be invalid. Login details. That's my message, and have a comma there and say login system or login error. It's a login error. Let's say J plain. Let's use error for that. Copy this and just paste that in there. This space dot error. There we go. Error message. Right. Let's collapse this so that you can see it. There, and the password details are just like it to clear whatever you have in there. So let's come in here and paste that in there. So the password is king and username is 1. So let's try that. Run that and see. Okay, username is 1 and the password is king. There, that's correct. And let's say we entered invalid details and that pops up. Okay, but that's not good enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my previous tutorial. Now that we know the password system works, just copy one of those. Let's come in here. Let's look for, maybe copy the booking system, or let's copy the travel, this very one. I'm going to copy the package. That is the package right there. Okay, you see that? Right click on it, go to copy. Alright, now let's come into our own password system here, this very one, that is it, and that is the name, is called traveling. Right click on SRC, this very one, right click on it, and we just paste there. Right, look at it, it's right there. You see that? So I now need this very name you're looking at. Okay, so that I can call this object itself. Let's double click. That's it right there, it's coming up. Okay, you guys still recall I have a tutorial on this, so let's come in here to be able to call it inside our password system. So if the password is right, this very one, so I'm going to call it, let's right underneath there, I'll type this very name, travel. It's called traveling. Okay, let's say info equals new travel. Copy this and enter the parentheses there. But the thing is, we're going to have to import this very travel. So let's click in here. If you look up here, we haven't imported it yet. Okay, we're gonna have to import it into somewhere here. Okay, have a good look at it. So let's come right down. There we go. Click on it, and we need to import There we go, the error is gone. And let's see up there, and that is it. It has been imported. So what I would do is, you see this travel, for it to be able to call this very travel form, I need to call the main itself. So I'm going to now come down here and just paste travel dot main, this very one here, right here. If I double click on it and just assign no value, that is it, all done. Just this line of code. You see this one, even this one is not useful anymore. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, if we run the system, let's see if it's going to work. And in there, username is 1 and the password is king. Click on, there we go guys, it's working as we want. Yeah, that is brilliant. Very good. No, you don't need to enter any data in there. Forgotten how this works. Dot and just click on total. There we go. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. So close that. So what I'm gonna do now is, let's come back into my login details here. Get onto the form, double click on this, just to prove to you that this is not working anymore. If we get rid of this, it's still going to work. One and king there. That's it guys, it's working as we want. But we need to redesign the interface. Come in here, the design of the interface, I'm just going to speed that up. The only thing I'm doing is just increasing the font size, and that's all there is to it. And we can call it the end of this tutorial. So I'm going to select it all and just increase it all at in one go. Let's come right down here, maybe 30, make that bold there. Okay, and this one I'm going to have to make that one much bigger. There we go. So I'll now enhance the interface and get back to you guys. Okay guys, this is how the interface looks right now. So let's go into the codes and let's double click on these. And you see these very objects here. One other thing we could have done is, I can always come in here and just enter, let's say the information. We can say information info dot main. So I could have called that as well. So it's exactly the same thing with this. So if I get rid of that, it will still work. So I just feel I should show it to you guys. So if I run the system now you have a choice of which one you want to use. So if I run the system, so let's enter 1 there and enter king right there guys. And that is how you develop your own login system in Eclipse. So with that, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. But before I leave, let me show you guys the codes, the login details. There we go. Here, double click on that from here. Okay, those are the login details up to here. Okay, remember you have a choice here of what to do, but you must import whatever application you copied. And up here, these are very important. You must import everything that you used, everything that you're using in your program. Okay, and remember these methods as well. So okay, let me show you the exit right here. Those are the lines of code for exit. And this form login system, this object is also right up here, right here somewhere. it private something. Okay, but just make sure that is imported as well. Okay, alright, call the JFrame, that's fine. Okay, now the reset button, that's the reset there. Okay, so we run it one more time and you see what we're talking about. Come down here. So we'll try that again. I'm going to enter invalid details there. There we go, invalid. So let's enter the correct details. Logging into the system. Okay guys, with that I'm going to call it the end of this login system. I suppose you all enjoyed. You all have a nice day now, and bye for now.